You talk about the war, and this all started from the World War. And nowadays we are having a physical war is going to be finished. There will be a digital war also. If we are not having the virus war, digital war will come first. Do you think some kind of ethics playing in this game? People can do something, but they are not doing. Are ethics having some place in this? The man can do anything, but why they are not doing it? Is some role of ethics exist in that?
So how I see war is, so it has multiple dimensions, not just the ethics. It is also like making our thought process paralyzed by psychological warfare, making our decision fail by geopolitical influence, and making our research and development wings as lousy as possible by having financial implications that we are already seeing. So it is not just that the decision making, obviously, even if we start delving into going for a solution around how we should go about it, it will require a lot of back-end stuff that needs to be done. It should not be just that, okay, we have finances, we can go on development of we go on. If we have particular R&D setup, we can start developing such like. I would say that we are right now in a paralyzing state. We are not able to develop the technology that we need to develop. Right now, as we have inferred, there are ways where the attack is going to happen. It is going to be hybrid. It will have humans attaining their superpowers by indulging into technologies that are kinetic as well as non-kinetic in nature. We'll be seeing attacks happening from kamikaze drones that are going to shoot down targets without us going physically available on those front lines. We'll be seeing wars that are biological in nature, nuclear in nature, definitely. But my observation with that is that it will start with a lot of policy change. It has to be on a level that, okay, Israel is right now doing really great when it comes to cyber, because at times when they required help, nobody was helping them. They developed their own capabilities. It's now our time to realize that nobody is going to come and save us. So we should start developing our own capabilities in offense as well as defense. So that is the major mind shift that needs to be happening. We should not be reactive rather than proactive. There are situations that are going to come which is tougher in nature. We have already seen the political war. We have already seen how twisted the geopolitics could be. We have seen the Venezuela Act, wherein it was a classic case of how an EW as well as cyber happened before the abduction took place, and there was zero footprints. There was no SATCOM that was possible while they were flying their F-35 and all, and there was no visibility. There was no radar that was working. Later on, it discovered that 6 years back there was a Chinese company that set up the whole radar, and they got to know that these radars are already conscious and they have places. So we need to look into our systems as well. So it is the bigger run. I would say that it's something that is not as easy as it seems.
Like in Mahabharata, they had a rule कि शाम सूरज बंद हो गया तो लड़ाई नहीं लड़नी है. So like that, there should be some kind of ethics in today's world also.
Right now, after Venezuela, you see that there is no rule.
That's what I was coming to.
गुजरात के कोस्टल लाइन में 200 रुपए के लिए एक फिशरमैन ने नेवी के इंटेलिजेंस को शेयर कर दिया.
200 rupees per day.
क्या एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं आप?
I agree.
So no rules, and I think that there are no rules to why we are finding rules. Why we are finding that urge to find rules. There are no rules that we very frankly honest. We are also not going to follow few of the rules.
Right.
I think we're past that point of subtlety in the war phase. Like you don't need to be subtle. That's the phase that we are living in currently. And coming to I have a question about public tools are a liability as you mentioned. But in the dev sphere, as we have seen that open source and public tools, they're often being public actually helps them. Like the most common case is Linux. If you say each and every system has its place in Linux in the production of it. You take example of cloud, you take example of any server. So being public actually empowered it. There are certain tools that are actually used as industry standards, all of them public, all of them open source. And they're usually preferred over the custom tools that we have, the ones that are behind the paywalls. I think that it could be that instead of treating them as liability, we could say that they form the base. But if you are going in a direction that you want, like type of protection, where the phase of war that we are in, at that point you could actually inject the custom endpoint. So instead of treating the public tools as liability, we could treat them as weapons, but the shared endpoint.
So this particular point that is written over here, it comes from a different topic than the public tools as in what we are utilizing as of in our day-to-day life. The inference here is that the first time it says is operator principle. We are talking about cyber operators, not regular developer people. We are talking about nation-state actors right now. Just to set up the context, because I believe most of us were not in the class while I was explaining this. So this comes from a different topic. It says that why we are not able to actually detect US-based attacks, why we are not able to detect any adversaries that are beyond advanced stages. So what needs to be done here, what we are trying to refer here is that the public tools that we are utilizing, or the threat actors are utilizing, they are all in nature already. People know that okay, these are malware engines, these are particular command and control servers, these are particular softwares that you utilize for hacking into other environments. So how an operator thinks to this particular problem statement is, let's not utilize these known tools. Let's try to create our own tools so that we can be as evasive as possible and we can operate for a longevity of an operation. We utilize some custom tools. So it is not like so both the areas of concern are very different. While you are looking at it from the usability point of view, we should definitely rely on open source because at least we will be seeing the code, we will be seeing the inner workings. Definitely that is something that I would also recommend. But when it comes to creating a technology and creating a tool that has to last and that should be utilized in a cyber operation, like hacking into other organizations, hacking into other countries, hackers don't go for such tools. Because it is already there are detection tools, there are people smart enough like you to hunt those tools and write signatures. So of course that's not something that we should. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you so much everybody. It was a pleasure talking to you all.